everyone, my name is Zach and welcome to On Cash Flow, where I help you become a master of your own cash flow. Now let's get started. I hope you guys like my new setup I got here. I got the new computer monitor, giant monitor in the background so that I can edit these videos at a better pace and hopefully in a better fashion. But let's get on to the content. The thing we are talking about today is 5 small side hustles that you can start that have a big reward for the amount of time that you put into them. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the requirements for these side hustles to make it on this list. First off, they have to have a relatively big amount of reward for the amount of time you're putting in. So basically, for every hour that you put in, it has to have a significant reward based on that hour. We're not talking about $2 an hour, $5 an hour, something small like that. It has to be like something higher, maybe like $50 an hour or $100 per hour based on how much time you put in. The second requirement is that these side hustles have to have low costs associated with it. So some side hustles, they require startup costs or they require ongoing costs. But these side hustles that I have on here today, they have very low ongoing costs. So it doesn't cost you very much to start them or to keep doing them. And number 3, these side hustles are very flexible, which means you can pretty much do them anywhere. You can do them pretty much almost at any time. So those are the 3 main factors that I went through in order to build this list of 5 small side hustles. The very first one, and you already know it, is credit card sign-up bonuses. I think that this is a side hustle that everyone with good credit and good financial habits should be doing. And that's because you can get pretty much free money. You can get anywhere from, let's say, a value of $500 all the way up to a value of $1,000, sometimes even more, just depending. And the value of what you're going to get from a credit card bonus is going to be dependent on what you're trying to go after. If you're trying to go straight after a cash bonus, the value is usually going to be less per bonus that you receive. But if you're going after free travel, the value of that bonus, of each credit card bonus, could be very, very high as like $1,000 just from one card. The basic strategy for just getting credit card bonuses is to just basically do it slow. You don't have to do 20 cards in 1 year to get a ton of bonuses that you don't know what to do with. I think the best strategy for most of us, especially those of us in the financial independence community, is to start with just maybe 2 or 3 cards per year, maybe a maximum of 4 cards per year, and just go after a few of the most lucrative bonuses that are going to apply to our travel lifestyle. So for example, you can go after a certain airline card, or you can go after one of the general cards that reimburses you for any travel expense. And you can get anywhere from $500 to $1,000 each card. So if you're doing 3 cards per year, that's going to be anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 worth of value that you can get for free just from doing these cards. So you just have to have a simple little spreadsheet to make sure you have your minimum spend bonus, how much you need to spend in order to get the bonus, and when you need to close the card so that you don't pay a bunch of fees later on, like an annual fees. And so as long as you're doing that, you can follow the a basic credit card sign up bonus strategy. You can easily make a few $1,000s per year in either cash rewards or in travel rewards, which is what I prefer because it's more lucrative. And then number 2, another really easy side hustle is very similar to the credit card sign up bonuses, but in this case, number 2 is bank sign up bonuses or bank referral bonuses. So with this kind of side hustle, you're basically going after new bank accounts. You're opening up new bank accounts. You're depositing a certain amount of money. Usually you just have to transfer it in, or if you have a direct deposit, some of them require that you can just put a small direct deposit into that account. And as long as you meet those requirements, you're going to be rewarded with a certain kind of bonus. And the great thing about going after some bank bonuses just occasionally, just like with the credit cards, just a few per year. You don't have to do 100 accounts per year. Just going after 2 or 3 or 4 accounts per year, you can get some pretty good amount of money with a very small amount of time invested in this. Let's say you have to deposit $1,000 into an account and you will get, let's say, $100 of a bonus. So if you multiply that out, by 1 year, and you actually had to leave that $1,000 in the account for 1 year, that's a 10% return on your investment. But in many cases, you don't actually have to leave the money in there for an entire year. In most cases, it's actually going to only be like 3 months. Sometimes it's 6 months. But if you annualize that, if you annualize the return that you get just from that small deposit that you usually have to make into the account, it's usually going to be over 10% easily. Sometimes 15%, sometimes 20%, sometimes even more. So this is a really good strategy because you can just take some existing money that you have and put it to work to make technically a really high ROI with virtually 0 risk. That's because every bank is that you're going to be signing up with is probably FDIC insured, and so up to $250,000, but you're not going to be probably using that much money for these bank bonuses. But if you do just a couple of bank bonuses, and the same thing with referrals, so sometimes you can refer people and get a few extra dollars that way if they do the same thing, which works really well if you're like a couple working on this together. But if you just do a few bank bonuses per year, you can easily make maybe $1,200 per year just off of like 4 bank accounts per year. Make sure you're just keeping track of what you need to do, and it's really easy. So I personally bring in easily at least $100 per month. This year I think it's close to $200 per month. Now it's not every single month you're getting that steady stream of income, but it's going to be like $300 this month and then zero for 3 months and then another $300 or something like that. For me, I've averaged about $200 per month this year by doing bank bonuses. The amount of ROI for the amount of time you put in is going to be very high with bank bonuses, just like it is with credit card bonuses. However, by far, the easiest side hustle that you can do is liking this video, and that's because it has a really high ROI on your time. All these videos are free and available to you, and so by hitting that like button, it doesn't cost you a single cent. So it's a really good side hustle to have. Please like this video if you're liking it so far. It really does help me out, and I really do appreciate it. Now let's move on to number 3. And number 3 on this list is online arbitrage selling. I don't really know how to say it in a very complete sentence, but basically you're taking an item that you got really cheap and you're reselling it online for a profit. So this can work in many different ways. Traditionally, a lot of people like to sell things on eBay, resell things on eBay that people around the world, or usually within your country, they're going to want that and they're willing to pay a higher price than what you found it for. So you can go to places like yard sales, garage sales, thrift stores. You can even get stuff for free off of different groups, and you can resell these items on eBay or on Craigslist or on Facebook Marketplace or any other kind of online group, and you can resell them for a profit. So you're basically flipping items. You're finding something that is in demand that people don't know where to find, and you're giving the opportunity to sell it to people who really want it, to actually have that demand. And so you are providing a service for people who want to have those items, and you will be rewarded by getting a profit from selling those items. I like this idea because it's a way of almost like having a small business, but really you can do it as much or as little as you want to. You can go once a week, you can go once a month. It really doesn't matter. It's really up to you. And there's pretty much, as long as you know what's going to be in demand, as long as you are able to find out what things are going to sell and for what price, and you can make that work, it could be a really good, small business or a small side hustle that you can do in your free time. And especially if, a lot of us like to enjoy like that thrill of finding something that you can resell at a higher price. So it's a really good side hustle for a lot of people. Another really good side hustle for a lot of people is number 4. And number 4 is to turn a piece of real estate that you have into a vacation rental in some form or fashion. So whether this be a second home that you own, whether it be your own home while you are away from home, or maybe it's just a room in your home. Traditionally, a lot of people use the service Airbnb in order to make this happen, but there's many other options that you can partake in if you want to turn something that you own, like a real estate, into a vacation rental. Turning something into a vacation rental can be a really great idea because you can do it as little or as much as you want to, and you get to set your own price. So this is something that is a really good opportunity for those of us who own real estate. And the great thing about it is that there is a tax rule. You only use your property for vacation purposes, like renting it out for I think it's 14 days or less. Then the IRS actually lets you take in that income tax-free. So you don't have to report it as income, and you don't have to figure out all your deductions for it if you meet that like minimal use rule, as they call it. So if you have a second home, or you just have your own home that you rent out for less than 2 weeks per year, you could possibly get that money tax-free. So make sure you look into the details on that. Just once a year, you can rent out your house for 2 weeks while you're away on vacation. You can make some extra income, and it's going to be tax-free income possibly. So this is a really great option. Or you can do it a lot more, and you can actually do it year-round if you want to make a more regular income. So the options are endless if you own real estate, and you can turn it into a vacation property in some way or somehow. And last but certainly not least is number 5 on this list. And number 5 I saved the best for last because I think this is something that almost everyone, especially in the FIRE community, should be doing. And that is to just start an online business. So there are many different ways that you can start an online business. It doesn't just have to be a YouTube channel. It doesn't just have to be a podcast. It doesn't just have to be, whatever that you traditionally think of an online business. There are many different opportunities for online businesses, or at least online-based businesses, where primarily you serve your customers online, or you serve whoever you're trying trying to serve online to make your money. And so one of the easiest ways you can get started with this is actually a service-based business. So offering a service that can be completely offered online or that can be primarily delivered online. So this is a really great idea for many of us, especially if we have a particular set of skills that we can sell and market to people who need those skills and who need to put our skills to work. And it's not just with skills, it's not just with services. The same can be said about product. So many businesses, especially like niche businesses that have very niche product, they can be sold for a higher profit. And if you are selling them online, then that means you can increase your profit margins because you're going to have less overhead expenses, like the overhead expenses of a store and paying rent and all those other kinds of expenses that go along with a traditional brick and mortar business. So this is a really great option for anyone who is looking for some side income because they can put as much or as little work into their business as they want to. Now, of course, no business is guaranteed to succeed, and this is more of a long-term side hustle, but I think still it is a great option for most of us, and especially those of us in the financial and business community once we retire early, so it gives us something to do while we can still earn a little bit of extra income while pursuing something that's worth pursuing. And now this brings me to the big question. I want to know in the comments below, what kind of side hustles are you pursuing right now? What kind of side hustles have you done in the past? Please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to talk about it. And then when you're done leaving that comment, make sure you check out another video that I created. Okay, I created a full guide to maximize your income so that you can achieve financial independence. So you need to watch that video if you haven't watched that video. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Zach from OnCashflow.com, and I hope to see you next time.